Welcome to Grave Words, where shadows have voices, and your screen becomes a window into something you were never meant to see. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe, tap like, and comment below, but only if you make it to the end. Because this one is about something familiar, something that stares back at you every day, a thing we all have in our homes, hanging quietly, waiting, watching. This is The Girl in the Reflection. It all began when Mia moved into her first apartment. She was 24, freshly graduated, broke, and full of cautious optimism. The apartment wasn't much, a second-floor unit above, a nail salon in a neighborhood that looked safe enough in daylight. At night, let's just say she locked every window, double-bolted the door, and kept her pepper spray by the bed. She didn't have much furniture, a twin bed, a fold-out couch, and a tiny kitchen table. She spent weekends browsing flea markets for anything she could afford. That's where she found the mirror. It was standing against a tent wall, tall and full length with a wooden frame so dark it almost looked black. The edges were chipped. The glass was cloudy, not from dirt but from time. It looked like something that had once belonged in a grand old house, before the house rotted and the mirror was forgotten. The vendor was an older woman, mid-60s, with long gray hair and a face that seemed stretched too tight like she'd been holding a scream for years. Mia asked how much it was. The woman looked her dead in the eye and said, $15. $15? 15 years, the woman said quietly. That's how long it's waited. I suppose you'll do. Mia laughed awkwardly. So, it's free? The woman nodded. Take it. But don't look into it in the dark, and never turn your back to it uncovered. It sounded like a joke, a weird sales pitch. But Mia shrugged it off, loaded the mirror into her car, and brought it home. She leaned it against the wall across from her bed. A perfect spot. It made the room feel bigger. That night, Mia had a dream. She was underwater, drifting slowly, weightless but panicking. Above her was a pale face, a girl. Her eyes were black and her mouth was open just a little too wide. Her hands didn't reach to help. They pulled. Mia woke up gasping, tangled in her sheets. Her heart was racing. When she sat up, she noticed something odd. The mirror. It was fogged over, like someone had breathed on it. She stared at it for a few seconds, then got up, wiped the glass clean, and told herself it was just leftover moisture from her own breath. But something about the dream lingered. Days passed. Mia tried not to think about the mirror, but it had a way of pulling her attention. She'd catch herself glancing at it. Not to admire herself, no, more like checking, double-checking. Sometimes she'd walk past it and feel like her reflection was a second late, just slightly off, like watching a live video with a half-second delay. Other times, she'd brush her teeth and see her reflection stop a moment after she did. Then came the lipstick incident. One night, she was getting ready for a party. She stood in front of the mirror, applying red lipstick. Nothing fancy, just a swipe and go. But the reflection? It raised the lipstick a beat too late, and when Mia paused, the reflection smiled. She didn't. She dropped the lipstick and stumbled back. The reflection corrected itself almost instantly. It was her again, only her. But the damage was done. That night, she threw a bedsheet over the mirror. Not because she believed anything was wrong. No, of course not. Just, she didn't want to see it in the dark. That's all. But the dreams returned. Every night she saw the same girl, pale, wet, hair plastered to her face. She didn't speak. She just stared. And every time she got closer, like the dream was picking up where it left off. Then one night Mia heard something. It was 3:17 a.m. The room was silent, until it wasn't. Tap, tap, tap. She sat up. The sound was faint, metallic, hollow. Tap, tap. It was coming from behind the sheet, from the mirror. She stared at it for a full minute before daring to get up. She peeled back the sheet, just a little. Nothing, just her, pale from fear, eyes wide. But as she turned to go back to bed, her reflection lingered, just a fraction of a second, like it didn't want to leave. The next day, Mia decided she'd had enough. She called the flea market organizers to ask about the woman who sold her the mirror. There was no older woman in a tent selling mirrors, the guy said. You sure it was from our market? That's when Mia realized she didn't remember seeing any other customers around. Just her and the woman. That night she dreamt again. Only this time she couldn't move. She was paralyzed. The girl in the reflection was standing above her, arms at her sides, mouth gaping open like it had unhinged, and from it came one word. "Switch!" Mia screamed herself awake. She wrapped the mirror in towels, duct taped it shut, and shoved it in her closet. But that didn't help. The tapping returned, louder now. From inside the closet, the reflection wanted out. She started researching. Antique mirrors, haunted reflections, mirrors that mimic you. Most of it was garbage, creepypasta stories, and badly photoshopped images. But one forum post stood out. It was from 2012 by a user named A Parallax Girl. The thread was called "Help, My Mirror is Wrong." She described exactly what Mia had been experiencing. The delay, the smile, the reflection moving on its own. And in the final post, the user wrote, "Whatever you do, don't break the mirror. That's not a prison, it's a door. And once it opens," the post ended there. Mia tried to message the user. No reply. The account had been inactive for years. Her mind raced. If she couldn't break it, what could she do? That night, something changed. She woke up not to tapping, but to whispering. "Let me out." It was soft, just below hearing, but it was there. She opened her closet and stared at the wrapped mirror. It pulsed, like something behind the towels was breathing. She knew it had to end. The next morning, she drove the mirror to the edge of town and left it outside a thrift shop. Didn't tell them anything, just dumped it and drove off. But when she got home, it was there, sitting against her bedroom wall. The towels were gone, and in the reflection, the girl was no longer behind the glass. She was standing beside her. Mia collapsed. She doesn't remember the ambulance, or the hospital, or her friend Emily showing up the next day to find her curled on the floor, whispering, "It's out, it's out." They put her on medication, therapy, time off work. Eventually, she seemed better, but something about her changed. She still went by Mia. She still laughed at the same jokes. But her eyes? They never quite followed your movement. Her smile was just a little too wide. And if you ever caught her looking in the mirror, she never blinked. One day, Emily found the mirror, the same one, propped up in Mia's closet. The surface was cracked, but it still worked. Only, it didn't show Mia anymore. It showed Emily, standing alone, smiling. Then, without warning, Emily's reflection winked. And just like that, it was her turn. Thank you for watching. This has been The Girl in the Reflection. If you're looking at yourself in a mirror right now, blink twice. Make sure the person looking back does the same. And if they don't, run! Don't forget to subscribe, like, and drop a comment below telling us the strangest thing you've ever seen in your own reflection. Until next time, sleep tight.